food. Hi everybody, it's PJ, and boy do I got something to tell you. So I had another OBE, a really amazing one with Jeff in his home. It was so cool. I love these. So last night I was doing a little meditation and it was late, and you got to understand I was sick. Okay, so on Sunday night I started to get like pins in my belly. Like it felt like little pins were in my belly, and I was like, what the hell is that? So I was getting like little pins in my belly. Anyway, I ended up not feeling good, so I didn't get to work on Monday, and I was up pretty much all night Sunday night, you know, really late. But I fell asleep in the morning, and that was like all better. And by like, I didn't eat all day. I waited till like 5 o'clock and then I ate and I was fine. Anyway, so I put on one of my meditations, and I was just listening to it. I was relaxing, I was breathing, doing the deep breathing. And I felt it, like right away I felt like I was going to travel. And when that started, I said to myself, okay, just go be with Jeff. And so I instantly came out of my body and ended up standing in the kitchen at Jeff's house. And it smelled like Jeff's house, and it was Jeff's house all the way around. Although he had a new rug. I know that's so random, but sometimes that happens. Like, I don't know if I'm in a different, am I in a different Jeff's house on a different plane or something? I don't know, but he had a green rug in the kitchen. I never had a green rug in the kitchen, or at least not when I lived there. And I lived there for a really long time, so anyway, so I went into the bedroom first. I was alone. I went into the bedroom. It was so quiet and cool, and it was just home. It was just being home. Like, it was really neat. But anyway, so I go in the bedroom, right? And there are 2 candles sitting on the nightstand. So I lit them both. I had this long thing, you know, one of those long lighters. So I lit them both because I was like, oh, let's let the room smell really good when he gets home. And I knew he was like coming home. It was so crazy. So I went back into the kitchen, and I was looking around. I was just like enjoying being in my old home. You know what I mean? It just felt so good to be back home. Like, I was in the dining room and I was looking around at all the work we did and everything. It was just neat. Anyway, so I looked out okay, you can look out Jeff's back door and see the path that goes up to the street, because the front of the house was the water, because we had a 50-foot private beach. So the front of the house was the front door open to the water, and all the front windows, like living room windows and stuff, open to the water. So I didn't even look out the front windows, really. It was late. It was nighttime. So it was just dark out the windows. There was nothing there for me to see. So I go back in the kitchen. I look out the back door, and I had the lights on, and I could see him starting to walk down. And I got so excited, guys. I was like, oh my God, here he comes. Like, my whole chest was tight and everything. And he walked in like nothing. Like, he walked in like he did every day of my life for so long. And he said, hi, babe. And I was like, hi. And I just was like standing there like, ooh. And he walked over and he gave me a kiss. And then he took his stuff. He had a bag of stuff, and he put it on the counter behind him. And then he came over, and I was like, oh, I've missed you so much. And he said, I haven't been gone that long, like that. And then he was like, he had a paper under his arm, so he pulled the paper down under his arm, opened up, just like a normal day. And I was just like, oh, a normal day, you know? Like, I was so, whoa. I was so like excited for the normal day. Like, I know that's probably crazy, but I was just like, oh my God. So he said, did you eat dinner? And I'm like, I'm not hungry. And he's like, okay. And I said, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm good. And he walks by me into the bedroom. So I'm like, Well, here I come, right? So I get up, I wasn't sitting down. I just like walk around the dining room and then down the hall into the bedroom. And he lays on the bed and I lay on the bed. And he's like, we should have gotten the, he said, you know, I always thought we should have got that other bed. And because we had a really horrible mattress, like in the end, like we bought one of those, what are they called, like foam mattresses, awful. Like the first mattress we had was fine, the second mattress was awful. And I said, you're right, this one's awful. And he said, I have a better mattress. And then he stopped himself and I said, where? And he just looks up at me and he goes, and I was like, okay. So I leaned down onto his belly and I like had my arm like this and I was like staring at his face, and in his eyes were like sparkles and he just looked so beautiful, and I was just so happy. And he put his arms around me. We didn't do anything, we just like were like cuddling, and I floated away. And that was it, but it was so good. Oh my God. I need those times more often. I need that moment. It doesn't last very long. I wish it could last all night. Like I've had some that lasted long, but that one didn't. But it was like, oh, it was just a normal moment. It was a normal moment with my love. So good. And there were no dogs in the house. I noticed that too. I was like, I wonder if Mabel's here, but there was not one dog or cat in the house. He had 3 cats when I first met him. And then, of course, I had Mabel, and we had a dachshund named Geppetto. But none of the dogs were in the house. It was just an empty, quiet, cool, low lights. So nice. So nice. Anyway, that was it. It was just a really nice moment that I got to cuddle with my man on the other side. People must think I'm crazy. But, and that's the other thing. As I floated back, that was the craziest part too. Oh, forgot about this part. So as I float back to myself, and I didn't, normally I like try to stop myself. A lot of times when I'm traveling, I'm on the verge of saying like, no, don't stop. Like, because I'm so afraid that I'm gonna pop back, you know what I mean? And I don't want to end whatever it is I'm in the middle of. So at any rate, this time I wasn't. I was just kind of cool and relaxed, and it felt like a summer night that we had so many down there of just like restful, relaxing. I can't even explain it, but that's what it felt like an average, wonderful, you know, maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. But at the very end, I kind of melted away out of his arms, and like I was coming back to me, and from a distance, which sounded like in my living room, I heard, Paula! And I was like, I jerked my head up, looked at the first thing I do anymore when that happens, like when I'm traveling, is to look at the dogs, because sometimes the dogs hear what I hear and sometimes they don't. And when they don't, I'm going to assume it was from the other side because they're not necessarily there with me. But even when I have like auditory people whisper in my ear, stuff like that, even then, sometimes the dogs look up like, like something happened, or maybe they heard it. But this time they were sound asleep. They didn't wake up, but it was enough that I like jerked up at that point. And I was just like, oh, but I had already gone. It wasn't like that took me out of the space. I had already left the space. I just kind of floated out, laying on his chest, looking at what looks like stars in his eyes. That's another thing. Things like eyes, and if you look really closely at things on the other side, you can almost, I don't know, see the molecules maybe? I don't know, but it was lovely. It was sweet and lovely, and I was grateful. I'm always grateful for that moment. Anyway, I love you guys. If you'd like to follow me down the rabbit hole that is my life, hit the button down below and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. If you like these kind of videos, thumbs down if you don't. Either way, you're watching me manifest something lovely in your life. If you know it, think it, believe it, you can have it too. Like a beautiful moment with somebody you love, even if they're on the other side of the veil.